Our next session is like going from healthcare to climate tech. Water conservation in these times of climate change is kind of going to be one of our biggest challenges that we need to solve. Our next speaker is Ganesh Shankar. He's the founder at FluxGen Technologies, and he's going to tell us how they are going to help save water, right? Simply going to help save water using the power of deep tech and AI, and how they have implemented these things at both corporate as well as the government level throughout India. So over to you, Ganesh.
Thank you so much, Amol, for the opportunity. It's a real pleasure to be here. I would like to give a bit of an emphasis on why I wanted to share deep tech in water or sustainability. Before that, I thought I should also talk about deep purpose in deep tech. And I would like to, I made a presentation to share how I found my purpose and how I utilize deep tech to solve that purpose. So this is a lake I grew up next to. It's called Madiwala Lake, and I used to go there every Sunday with my father on Sundays because it was only available on Sunday. I used to look at this lake and I used to get enchanted. One of the days they told that this lake will be converted into residential locality, and I would not be able to see any of this birds and flora and fauna around. I was deeply disenchanted. I thought, like, how would this happen? Fortunately, the people around this lake decided to revolt against the authority and wanted to do a rally and wanted to protect the lake. And I was also part of that rally, and they also did a ways to engage everybody in different age group. They even did a painting competition so that kid, somebody like me who was around 10-year-old will participate. It so happened that we were able to protect the lake. I was fortunate to win the painting competition, and they conferred the title Friend of Lake. This was one of the earliest experience of my life. I saw how tragedy of commons would affect environment and affect the world we live. The state of lake is what the state of world is today. And fortunately, I grew up in the city of Bangalore, and I got exposure to deep tech in the form of working on satellite antennas when I interned with ISRO, and I worked on ion traps when I did my master's at the Institute of Science, which is used in building quantum computers. I later worked in aerospace industry in General Electric. What was interesting was that I was able to apply my imagination in the technology, and that gave me some kind of a confidence to build my career. But unfortunately, I didn't see a value in what I was doing because I was solving something that the humanity didn't badly need. That's when I thought I should quit my job and work on use this ability to imagine and use technology to solve something more important. I left my job in General Electric and went to a small town called Ujjire at that time to work on solar technologies. So I wanted to work on sustainability. This was in 2010, and I realized this is something that I should apply my skills in. I came up with the idea of setting up, after working in Selco, I came back to Bangalore to start my own company, and I thought I should work on electrifying villages and see how I could use technology to solve this. I came up with this idea on how I would have a solar plant and distribute the electricity to a bunch of houses. I showed this to a lot of my friends and told I would like to electrify villages using this. Many of them told Ganesh, you are too romantic. Things like this don't work in India. Some of them said, like, I understand that you have great credentials of uh, doing your masters at the Institute of Science, studying and working in G, but these are something that is not going to really happen in India. I was I mean, I was very heartbroken, but I thought like my motivation to do something on this was slightly more than giving up. So what I did was I decided, let me set up the small plant on the rooftop of my house on a table tennis board. I set up this up and with a bunch of people, and I showed this. Then people said, yes, this probably works. So something that gave me the confidence to take this onto the ground. So what went next was the VHR Center for Climate Change at Institute of Science said that why don't you actually, we will fund this project, and if you could electrify a small village, that's great. So it so happened that we went to a small village in Kanapur Taluk in North Karnataka to electrify while trekking to this village. And we were able to set up the solar plant. And the girl in this picture was able to get access to electricity for the first time. Today, the girl is even gone to college and pursuing careers like you and I. And I was told that the passing percentage in the SLC exam that year increased by 70% because of access to electricity. This how I saw how imagination technology can be a great catalyst, but doing something for social impact can be truly enriching career experience. But what I realized was I was not building something that would scale with various other parameters into account. But this had given me enough confidence to work on something that is as important as water. It was said that if climate change was sharp, water is its teeth. And it was during the same time I had myself experienced water crisis in my own childhood. Had seen water risk from my childhood. The earliest childhood, I remember we had a well at home, and that well kind of dried out by the time I went to school, that is primary school. Fortunately, we got a tap connection at home and we were able to get water on a regular basis. But by the time I went to my middle school, my father, who used to take affairs of water at home, decided to construct an overhead tank. And by the time I went to high school, he had to construct a sump at home because water was not filling the overhead tank. And later, when I went to do my master's at the University of Science, he had to he had to start getting water from tankers. And if the trend continues, probably my son would actually have to consume water by capsule. So you should not let that happen. And I realized that industries, if that's a case, if that's a challenge for water for an individual like me, what would be the challenge for industry? So it was very evident that India is running under severe water crisis. Right. So we realize there are three major risks industries face because of water crisis. One is financial risk. The cost of water would increase substantially, and today groundwater is also depleting at the cost. There is a charge for groundwater. I've been told that industries have shut down because of unavailability of water. One of the India's largest conglomerate had to shut down. The dairy business had to shut down for 18 days because of unavailability of water. Doing that their competitors were able to take up all their customers, and it was a permanent switch. Today, because India's GDP is getting affected by 6% because of water crisis, the compliance has actually taken greater enforcement has come up. So, according to Water Act of India, you have to track water at key location, and you have to reduce water consumption by significant by 20%. And recently, groundwater legislation was passed in Lok Sabha. That means that groundwater extraction should be reduced, and you have to increase the groundwater level by 20%. Last but not the least, which is a very key driver for this water management, is BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting. What it means is that if I'm going to buy this shirt in the future, I would also know how much water was required to make this shirt, right? So there is a line which says that you have to disclose water required to make a reprieve of revenue. All these three things actually puts industries in massive and imminent risk with respect to water. What we believe is, just like water as a liquid is transparent and clear, what if we make the data of water transparent and clear and build solution on top of it? That's exactly what we do. It goes without saying, if you don't measure, you can't manage, right? And so what we realized is that there is a significant amount of leakage, wastage, excessive usage happens in industries. In a way, it is taking away the groundwater and various other sources of water, which actually belongs to the communities around, right? So when you actually track water flow, water level, water pressure, water quality, and put it into the cloud and identify inefficiencies through machine learning and data analytics model, you're able to reduce water consumption by up to 30%. So essentially, we digitize water infrastructure and use machine learning models to reduce the overall consumption by up to 30% and give prescriptive alerts to take corrective action to avoid financial risk, business continuity risk, and compliance risk by providing notification. So, of course, we have been able to use sensors, and we also do edge intelligence, do this. The sensors could be anything. It could be as small as small pipe to a large diameter pipe, and we would be able to take the data. Like you can see this pipe as big as human sized pipe and water level sensors. So if this is a typical water balance chart of any facility, we would digitize at all levels. It's just not flow, it is all possible parameter, quality level, pressure, energy consumed by water infrastructure, and provide notification alerts. As you could see, we would eventually break down various risks associated to industry into solutions using our the machine learning models, which is running on this platform. So yes, of course, we have been able to provide, as you know, the ground stack will not be able to have access to computers. We would be able to provide through mobile apps. And I still remember before meeting one of this client, they were used to take hand readings of data at different location in a facility, and they were not able to find out where exactly water leakage or wastage is happening. With this intervention, we were able to pinpoint where exactly water is getting wasted, and excessive usage is happening. They would be able to get to know in less than 20 minutes and fix the problem in less than half an hour, instead of what would take days together, weeks together, months together. So yeah, we've been able to save more than 3 billion liter of water so far. We have some of the best serious, conscious corporates who have been able to use our solution. Just want to add, Lactalis is the world's largest dairy, and we were able to put up the wireless sensor network on their facility to identify leakage, wastage, excessive usage, and we were able to bring down the water consumption by up to 19%, and at the same time de-risk them from a bunch of risk. And of course, a hospital like GTNMH, we were able to not give them financial returns, but they were able to get US Green Building Council Platinum rated, Indian Green Building Council Platinum rated, and CI National Water Award, and they were able to get a water score of 14 out of 15, while the global average is 10. So in a way, we were able to use sensor fusion, deep tech in terms of artificial intelligence on the platform to provide prescriptive alerts and give them these results. Yeah, happy to share companies like Tata Steel has done a press release about their partnership. So what I want to say is, I started with this lake, right? And we were trying to protect the lake, and we did. Today, using technology, we've been able to save water equivalent to 5 times this lake. And this lake has more than half a billion liter of water, right? And we were able to save more than 3 billion liter of water. So that's how. I mean, now we are working with government to work on various initiatives. I think I'm running short of time. May have to some jump few slides. And now with this support with government of India, we are looking at saving a lot more. Fortunate to share that even Prime Minister
Ganesh,
Modi spoke
we have
about
to
our. Yeah. So I'll just end the thing. So our goal is to save 500 times Madiwala Lake. So that's how I figured out my purpose. I realized building a, while imagination technology is core to what catalyzes me, social impact drives the purpose, and building something scalable, monetizable will eventually lead a deep tech solution, or for that matter, any solution to achieve one's deep purpose as well. And I realize it's no different from what Indian philosophy talks about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Happy to take on any question if there is any.
Thanks, Ganesh. I think we are running out of time, so probably we don't have too much time for questions today. But thanks for the fascinating insights, right, on how you can save up to 30% water consumptions, and using that you have been able to save more than 3 billion liter, or 5 times the what Madiwala Lake capacity carries, and that's been an inspiration. So thanks a lot for your fascinating discussion,
Thank you,
and
sir.
and
Thank you.
thank you.